All right, let's dive into the finale of Dragon Ranger Omega, Book 3. And let me tell you, this is so much more than your standard epic fantasy. It gets into some really deep stuff, asking this one massive question. What if the real enemy isn't some monster out there, but the darkness hiding inside every single one of us? It's a heavy one, right? Let's break it down.
So the book just throws us right into the fire with this line. You've got this legion of wyverns, right? But the word that really jumps out at me is soulless. That's the key. It tells you straight up, this isn't about politics or fighting for land. Nah, this is a fight against something that just can't be reasoned with. An overwhelming, unfeeling force. You can feel the desperation right from page 1. And that really brings us to the core of this whole thing, doesn't it? This one question is what makes the story so incredible. You realize pretty quick that this big war, with the wyverns and everything, it's just a distraction. It's just the symptom of a much, much deeper problem. The real bad guy isn't just some warlord out there. It's something inside, something that lives in all of us.
Okay, so let's set the scene. You've got the Dragon Rangers, our heroes, and they are in some serious trouble. I mean, they're completely outnumbered, totally outgunned by this warlord, Ericus de Deville, and his massive army of wyverns. A straight-up fight? That's not a fight, it's suicide. So they have to get creative. They have to change the game.
So what's the plan? Well, it's a Hail Mary, really. They put all their chips on one person, Aurora, the Dragon Ranger princess. She challenges the big bad warlord himself to a one-on-one duel. But here's the twist. This isn't about landing a lucky knockout punch to win the war. No. This is all about buying time. Precious time they need to forge the one weapon that could actually turn this whole thing around.
But of course, there's a catch. There's always a catch, right? Aurora isn't ready for this fight. Not yet. So her teacher, the legendary Raze Dragonheart, has to step up. He needs to master this incredibly powerful, super personal family technique so he can pass it on to her. See, in this world, you don't just stumble upon some enchanted sword in a cave. You have to literally forge it from your own life experiences.
This technique is called the Final Forte, or With My Life. And honestly, this is one of my favorite concepts in the whole series. The ultimate power here isn't some magic spell you chant, or an old artifact you dig up. It's the sum total of your entire life. Think about that. Every single win, every loss, every happy moment, every heartbreaking one. All of it, melted down and forged into a literal weapon. It's this incredible idea that your own history, the good and the bad, becomes your greatest strength.
So how does he do it? Well, to master this, Raze has to go on this spiritual journey and duel his own father, Jinrai. It's a really cool two-step process. First, they fight as equals, and as their swords clash, they're not just fighting, they're sharing everything, their entire lives, their memories, their feelings. It's like a complete soul-to-soul download. Then the dynamic shifts. Jinrai becomes the teacher, and he helps Raze take all those raw experiences and understand how they fit into the bigger picture, turning personal pain into powerful wisdom.
And this is where things get really wild. It's during this intense, soul-searching training that the biggest bombshell of the story gets dropped. They find out the truth about their enemy, and it is way more complicated and, honestly, way more terrifying than they ever could have guessed. This revelation just flips the entire script on the whole conflict. Boom! Here it is, the Dragon's Sovereign, Alpha, lays it all out. Armageddon? He's not just a guy. He's not just a warlord. He's the literal embodiment of all the evil in humanity. Every bit of fear, every doubt, every sin, all of it pulled together and given a physical form. But here's the genius part. Right there in the description of what he is the clue to how to beat him.
So you start to realize Armageddon isn't a name, it's a role. A recurring nightmare that's popped up all through history with different faces. He's been Eric the Devil, he's been Galigeos the Crimson Swordsman, and now he's Ericus. He's this timeless, internal evil that keeps causing all these external wars and conflicts century after century.
And here's where it gets truly twisted. Armageddon's quote here says it all. The very thing the heroes are fighting to protect, people's lives, their freedom, is what gives him his power. He literally feeds on their fear, their despair, their guilt. The more they suffer, the stronger he gets. So how in the world do you fight an enemy like that? How do you save people when their own suffering is the weapon being used against them?
So forget about castles and kingdoms. The real war isn't fought on a map. It's fought inside the human heart. It's a straight-up clash of ideals. On one side, you have the heroes, fighting with hope, unity, and forgiveness. On the other, you have Armageddon, fueled by despair, isolation, and guilt. Every single person in this world is now a battleground.
All right, so if that's the battlefield, how do you possibly win? This is where the story's climax just shines. It's one of the coolest and most creative endings I've ever read in a fantasy series, and it ties all these deep, metaphysical ideas together for one epic finale.
So for his big final move, Armageddon doesn't send in an army. Why would he? His weapon is so much more insidious. He unleashes this psychic tsunami of pure despair that washes over everyone. He makes every single person relive their absolute worst moments, their biggest mistakes, their deepest shames. He's trying to break their spirit, to drown them in their own guilt so he can feast on it.
But just when it looks like it's all over, when everyone's about to be consumed by this darkness, Aurora steps up. And she doesn't fight back with a sword. She doesn't use magic. She fights a psychic attack with a thought, with an idea. She basically hacks into the kingdom's collective mind and broadcasts this powerful message of hope and forgiveness. It's incredible.
And guess what? It works. It actually works. Her words spark something in people. They make a choice. Together, as one, they choose hope instead of despair. They choose forgiveness instead of guilt. And in that moment, as a symbol of that choice, these magical dragon rings just appear on everyone's hands. It's the physical proof of their united spirit, a literal force of collective good.
This is when Race makes his move. It's his ultimate gambit, and it is crazy risky. He has this epiphany: if Armageddon is the dragon within man, then the only way to truly beat him is to cast that dragon out of man. So he basically opens the floodgates. He lets Armageddon suck up all the evil, all the negativity, from every single person. It purifies all of humanity, but it also creates this one ultra-concentrated being of pure darkness.
And with all that darkness gone, with everyone now united in this pure force for good, something amazing happens. Their true potential is unlocked. They become the Unison Courts. Millions, literally millions of dragons and their guardians just materialize, born from this collective goodwill. And Armageddon, the guy who used to feed on the entire population, he's now completely totally alone, facing an entire planet that is united against him. Talk about the tables turning.
After that, the end comes fast. I mean, what chance does one being of pure, isolated evil have against the collective good of an entire world? It's no contest. They don't even just kill him. They do something more profound. They cast him into a void, literally erasing him from their history. The world is washed clean, reborn as Dragon Earth.
And that brings us to the final, haunting question the book leaves us with. Okay, so they defeated Armageddon, this one big manifestation of their collective darkness. But if the source of that darkness, the potential for fear and guilt and all that stuff, if that still lives inside every person's heart, is the fight ever really truly over? It's a heck of a thought to chew on. Thanks for diving into this with me.